Yo, it's your favorite stringer. Guys, Mains and Crosses here. It's episode 5, guys. It's been a fun ride. I always piggyback on other episodes, but I try to escape tennis during the working days, and I do a whole separate thing, not tennis related, but somehow I always kind of revert back to tennis. It's always in the back of my head. But I've been asking a lot of questions on Instagram and a lot of comments, like, hey, what do you guys deal with? What do you guys deal with on a daily basis? Like, what kind of problems occur in your business? So, your business is definitely much different than mine, and we might have similarities, but I feel like I can figure out a way to kind of help you guys out, no matter what the situation is. And I think one of the big ones was, hey, I'm scared of rejection. Why would a client say no? Or what do I do when a client say no? And, nobody likes rejection. And that's a huge thing, right? It's like, damn, she said no. And we think about it too much. I feel like, if you think about it as a business, like, hey, they said no because maybe it's not a personal thing. And you got to treat it like that. You're not going to get along with every single one. And it'll be great if you got 100 calls and you hit it out the ballpark. Made an ace on every single, call you got. Everybody was satisfied. But sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. Even for us, like, and I hate reviews on YouTube and hate reviews on Google reviews, because it's either like, either they love you, they leave you a message, it's like, it leaves like 5-star reviews, and then there's like, if I can give them a -1, I would do that. So it's like, there's really no middle grounds, right? Either they're great or they're horrible. But look at your reviews. If it's over 80%, that's probably a good, solid review. And I know they try to have like different strategies to like stop the fake reviews, but if you see like 100% or 95% and above like positive reviews, like something's definitely wrong. Like either they're asking for likes and reviews and things like that, or it's just because it's human nature. Like, not everybody, like, dude, you just started your business and you got like 100 reviews and they're all good, and like there's 2 bad or something like that, or 2 that's not good and it has like no comments. It looks a little fishy. But why would a client say no to you, right? I think one of the big main reasons, like I said, let's go back to episode 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Sometimes it's usually around the price. If I came up to you, it's like, hey, I need my racket strung. Can you hook it up? Right? I have a machine. Like, they don't know about, like, let's say I had a string machine, right? And I was like, hey, I need 3 rackets strung like it in an hour. I'm too busy right now. It's gonna take me, like at least an hour of my time to string 3 rackets. Get all that stuff done, turn on the machine, go back home, do all that, take care of the kids, bring out the dogs, blah blah blah. It's actually gonna take me more than 2.5 hours just to string these rackets. So I call you up and it's like, hey, I got 3 rackets, man. How much can you do it for? Or, and you're like, oh man, I'll do it for like $30 a racket. That's $90 for all 3. And for me, I'll be like, no, that's cool. I understand. Sorry to waste your time. And the reason I say that is that it's not like I can afford it, and those are my prices. So that's the value of me. Like, if I was gonna do 3 rackets, it's gonna cost me like $30 because I have to string things like that. But for me to pay somebody else, it's not worth my time. So the price, it wasn't because he wasn't a good stringer. It wasn't because that, I didn't want to get the racket strung, or he had some bad energy. It's just, hey, my price tension is set where it's like, hey, I know for 3 rackets I can make $90, and for me to pay $90 that I could do myself, I would say no. Now it's a different scenario right here. I'm brand new. I don't have a stringer, let alone any strings. It's last minute. I need to get my racket strung. Hey man, I just broke some of these rackets. I got a tennis tournament tomorrow. I know it's bad on me. I need 3 rackets strung. Can you hook me up? Yeah, man. It's gonna be like You got your own strings? Yeah, I got my own strings, man. Yeah, it's gonna be like $90 because, you know, I got all these rackets to be done, but these are my fees right now. Is that cool? Yeah, man. $90. That's a little steep, but you know what? I'm in a bind. You're hooking me up. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. That's exactly how that should sound, or how that should go. Because for one thing, I don't have the machine. I'm doing the last minute. Even though I have the strings, I still need somebody to put it. I need somebody with the expertise, and I got a tournament tomorrow. And it's shame on me too. It's my fault. That I'm not paying $90 because that's a service for me. What I'm thinking as a client, like, damn, because I didn't make the right decisions and plan beforehand. Now I have to pay $90. And for me, as a customer, that person right there, that's an easy $90. Like, hey, you'll do my strings, you do it now, and all I gotta pay is $90. Easy day. So you gotta find out what their reason why your clients say no. And sometimes they, hey, did they say no because you didn't have a certain string? Then you're like, hey, maybe this is that one client. Now, if you had multiple clients looking for that string, you might be like, hey, I might need to carry that string. But clients have, if they call it in business, like, it's called tension price tension. You know, what's their threshold? And I always talked about in the last episode, was like the Goldilocks effect, right? Where it's the porch too hot, the porch too cold. That middle one, that porch is just perfect. And you need to find that for your client. You gotta be a solid observer. As a stringer, I mean, you got the technical stuff. We know you can string. We know you have great, you know, form or whatnot. But do you have great soft people skills? Can you read people? Can you persuade somebody? You need to be a little bit of salesman. And I find out that a lot of stringers lack of that. They treat it like, hey, this is my baby. This is my profession, which is great. You know, I have all the certification. I have this, that, and the third. But you're not listening to that client. You're not exactly giving what they want. And you have to know how to read a client, right? Now, what's your price tension, right? You're like, hey, Smitty, why are you always talking about price changes, things like that? This is important. As a stringer, I'll see how it all ties up. There's two ways that you can work this out. It's either one, you're going to reduce your price, right? And when you reduce your price, obviously, anybody can do that. That's an easy thing to do. So I'll just charge less, right? And then there's the other one. Number two is increasing your price, increasing your value. That's harder to do. Now, one and two. One, if you lower your price, you have much more volume. And I'll give you the pros and cons. You'll have more volume. You know, you'll have lots of, stringing to do. You probably have like 10, 20 rackets. You know, hey, I charge $10 for a string. Come on in. And you'll get, your club stringer, and you get club, players, and you'll get your recreational player. Sometimes you make some pros, things like that. But you get a whole bunch of them because it's $10. Like, hey, that's an easy fix. Now you move into the increase your value. Your demographics has got much smaller. Much smaller. Instead of 10 or 20 clients you may get that 3 or 4 clients. What's the difference? Same thing as retail. Same thing as high-end luxury. You can consider that. And I'm not knocking on any Kias or Hondas or whatever, but that's kind of a lot of people can afford it. It's made for the mass and the vast. But when you're talking about Lamborghini, Ferrari, Rolls Royce, it's a small niche, baby. It's higher value. You gotta pay more. It has a luxury status. Yes, the car takes you to the same place, but as you can see, when you have those clientels, either you have a whole bunch of them that's small prices, you're like, oh, it's everywhere. What's the pros and cons about it? Let's see. What's the pros and cons of having a luxury brand? Amazing process. Stringing for the celebrities or whatever. You get a high caliber class of clients, of players. They're gonna be more serious about their stringing, right? It's not gonna be, oh yeah, put whatever you want. Oh, I'm using natural gut hybrid with some Luxilon. What else? What's the pros about having high-end clients? You're probably getting paid more. That means you get to focus more. When you work on these rackets, you're like, hey, I'm going to do attention to details. I'm not going to cut corners. You know, if there's more money, you can maybe hire a second person, third person. Maybe you upgrade your machine. Maybe instead of having a drop weight, now you're using a Biardo. Right? You're high end now. You're the Louis Vuitton of string. You're the Chanel, the Hermes, the Ferrari. You know, maybe those 4 or 5 clients of yours will pay the same amount of money of those like 13 or 30 clients. You know, but what are you gaining? You get that status, right? It gives you that status, that higher pedestal. Well, you know, I strung for Roger Federer. I've done a couple Grand Slam, men's nationals, boys nationals. It gives you like a little ammunition to kind of like, you know, I'm better than the rest. You don't have to even be cocky. You should be like, hey, the phone calls would be like, hey, I'm in a bind. I'm kind of new in the area. Our team stringer, you know, he got sick, and we need somebody to string for us bad, man. We're calling from UVA, and you know, oh, dude, you guys rock. You know, we would love to come help you out. You know, we've obviously done plethoras of rackets, and we're gonna sort you guys out pretty well. Like, when do you need these rackets? Like, dude, man, we got a game this weekend. If you can kind of sort us out, like on Friday, just kind of, you know, hook us up, and then you know, we'll see how you are. And like, I think our guy's gonna be gone for a minute. Yeah, man, I'm down for it. You know, however, being as May, this is last minute. You know, I gotta rearrange some of my schedule. You know, I know you're a college team. I don't know what your budget is, but you know, I string about $25 per racket right now. And actually, you know, that's for school and veterans. Usually my fees is 30. And I know you guys probably have your own strings, so if you can, you know, hook me up with $30 a racket, you know, I would love to do it. Ooh, $30. I gotta go talk to my director, but since this is last minute, things like that, we might be able to sort you out. Yeah, man. You know, obviously, you know, we do bulk. It's just my, you know, GIF and I. You know, we've done plenty of tournaments. Worked with from ATP to WTA players all the way to, you know, clubs like yourself, and all the way down to like your boys next door. So we'll sort you out real nice. We'll bring our own machines. Also, you don't have to worry about anything. We'll get everything done. Oh, that's sweet, man. Let's do it. That wasn't too bad, right? Like a high D1 school called you last minute. You're up at plate. You're like, oh my god. Gave him some of your credentials. He's like, hey, we're Mains and Crowds. We're your favorite stringer's favorite stringer. We know what we're doing. Give me the value. So as your prices go up, right, or your value goes up, you deal with a higher tier of clientele, and they're gonna know you're valuable, because like, to Joe Schmo next door who just started playing tennis in his you know, with his Fairfax County or whatever county tennis player, he can't value, you know, a $200 racket, $300 racket. He can't value a $60 string job with natural gut and hybrid, because he's mentally, he's not there. His know-how is not there. Now, imagine Roger Federer, Novak, Nadal. He probably wants somebody who's at that league, because they're not just playing for fun. They're not playing for just kind of record. They're playing for obviously status, ranking, and of course at the end, money. So they need somebody who can, you know. Nike's not gonna come to me like, yo, Smitty, I want you to figure out the new basketball shoes. Like, no, they're gonna hire somebody professional. Now, if I was, you know, doing some rec league coaching and stuff like that, and say, hey, yo, Smitty, Coach Smitty, what do you think basketball shoes is good for my son? It's like, dude, go to the clearance rack, you know, go cheap, because you're gonna burn through this real quick. Try some out. As long as I got some good ankle support, I'm happy with it. You know, it's 2 different tiers. Now that we talked about the pros of having high, you know, end clientele, let's go to the other spectrum. You know, I like to give the devil's advocate. So let's say the benefit of doing things for less. All right, you get more demand. You'll have less resource. You're going to turn things over faster, because speed, time is money. You know, you're open to varieties of clientele. You know, if you know, from the luxury, you can only got 10. Now you probably get like 30. So you just have to figure out. Now the cons of that, the cons of having, you know, doing it for less, or having your status or value low, is you'll be overworked. You know, you have no money to subcontract all the work. You have to do it. You know, you're losing time. You're making more mistakes. You're getting tired. You're not being considerate to your wife and kids at home. You know, are you McDonald's or are you Warren's, Ruth Chris? You know, Nobu. You got to figure it out where you want to be. And I feel like everybody wants to be at that top. You want to be the Ferrari. You want to be the Lamborghini of the string, world. You know, profit comes last. I feel like, people say, hey, is this profit? More profit doesn't mean you're gonna, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna be a better, salesman. No, it's just like, if you think about it, all the pros and cons, you're still doing the same job. You're still stringing. But where would you rather string? Of course, you'd rather string being happy, taking a little vacation, not burning out, spending time with the family. So you just gotta visualize that. And so the last thing I wrote this down, risk. Dude, high risk. When you have a high risk thing, it's the worst of the offer, right? People get scared, like, oh man, this is high risk. Like, dude, man, I have a tournament tomorrow. If I win this, I'll go to nationals. I'm not gonna have a high risk stringer string my thing when I know I'm playing at that level, right? The likelihood of success is very low. So yeah, as much as I want to pay $10, Smitty's charging 30. He has Mains and Crosses has some, have some backing, word of mouth, reviews, status. I'm gonna go with Mains and Crosses. Right? You want to reduce the pain, guys. Like I said, when clients say no, it's like you want to reduce that pain. They're like, oh my god, last time I went to a stringer and they didn't give me the right tension. I didn't feel well. The strings he gave me, I didn't quite like. Who's this guy? So you kind of have to give him a little ammunition. Like, hey, I've been doing this for a while. Trust me, I got you. We'll go moving forward. Right. Now, another way to this is kind of a bonus. If you can make money on the side also, I know you're a stringer, but if you can have a vertically integrated business, so let's say you're a stringer, right? Imagine you were a good artist, like, hey, I do paintings. I do merch. I make t-shirts, hats. All right. Social media. I do seminars about, like myself, doing tennis, business talk, consulting. Even though I might break even or not even make money or lose money, that still supports what I do, stringing. Because I have the YouTube, I have the Instagram, I have working with Selinko, Wilson. I sell clothing. I do clothing with gift. Doing the Selinko shirts. That's hot. There's ice cream. Doing towels. Doing this, that, and third. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a wash, or I might be losing money, but at the end of the day, all those skills and all those experience helps me as a stringer, even though it has nothing to do with that business. Like I said, that's why it's an integrated business. It's like it helps push me into a different level. I'm not just a stringer. Social media, influencer, consultant, brand design, an engineer. I fix things. I create things. Guys, if you love these type of videos, man, please follow, like, subscribe, make more comments, give me some more ideas. Like I said, it's fun for me. I can do role playing all day long, and I hope you had fun with this video. Hit me up on DMs on Instagram, things like that. I think this is gonna be the next move for me, and I hope you guys have the best time taking these skills and using it at your work, life. Like I said, it doesn't have to be about tennis. Like, you use these ideas, just change the tennis clients to your restaurant clients, to your hair clients, to your co-workers, things like that. Like, do you want to be perceived as a high-end luxury brand, or you want to be the McDonald's of stringing? And I think when you're at that high level, who can say no to you? So this all ties up. The clients say no because they're uncomfortable. It can be price, it can be just you, or it can be just them. But what do you have control over? You have control over you, the price. You can't control how they feel. So if you make those two, that you can make the price and you make yourself high value, you're gonna close those deals. It's Amazing crosses. Peace.